Oh, my KnitWitches in arms. I have a new case for us. My freaking heart is a flutter, okay? I can't breathe right now. We're freaking out. Hey, Josh, what's up, buddy? Do you remember the Octopus murders? Do you remember Danny Casolero? Well, a freaking KnitWitch, Blair, said, hey, you remember Danny Casolero? Well, I found out that one of his friends, Mark Lombardi, he was an artist and he was using Danny's work, Danny's research, to make his art. And I was like, wait, what art? And I saw it. I swear to God, guys, Mark Lombardi's art is a Miro board. Okay? Now, hold on. Just wait, because we got a million steps here, okay? Do you remember the big thing that happened with Danny Casolero? Remember he was like he was about to crack the case. He said, I know who the Octopussy is. It's George H. Then slash. Someone cut all of his arms up and stuff. And we know he didn't because he's scared of blood. His family said he is so scared of blood, he would fucking faint. So there's 0% chance that he went in the bathtub, right? You want to know a funny thing, dude? Dude, Mark Lombardi, basing all of his work off of Danny Casolero's research, putting all these little bubbles together and drawing lines to them that looks freakishly like a Miro board. Do you know what I mean? Now wait, hold on, I'm going to tell you the thing. Okay, so guess what? Guess what, guys? Mark Lombardi got sad. He got sad, and the night after he had a huge show opening, he said, oh my God, I finally have success. He said, I am too sad to go on. I am scared of success. I do not like it. And he hung himself. Yep. Just like every artist, he hung himself because he was sad. And all artists are sad. But what if he didn't fucking hang himself? Much like Danny Casolero here. What if Mark Lombardi was set up maybe? What if maybe Mark Lombardi was getting a little too fucking close, you know, to the Octopussies? Here's Octopussy 1, Octopussy 2, Octopussy 3, and the Octopussy in waiting 4 is right there. So Danny was on this chump, and then he said, I'm about to solve this. And then he killed himself, okay? Now, Christian is the documentarian who made the Netflix Octopus Murders, and if you note, it's weird, they both do kind of look alike, but I need Christian. I need to find Christian. If you guys know Christian, I need to be put in touch with him, okay? Because everything we're talking about is the same exact thing as what Danny and Christian are talking about. And boys, I just figured out that was Mark Lombardi. This is incredible. He was doing this 25 years ago and he was killed for it, okay? Let's listen to some of the facts in the case, okay? Mark Lombardi, March 23rd, 1951 to March 22nd, 2000. He killed himself on his birthday. He said, frick it, dude. Let's YOLO. Was an American neo-conceptual artist who specialized in drawings that document alleged financial and political frauds by power brokers and, in general, the uses and abuses of power. Okay, sweet. Okay, he's from New York. He was a researcher. While still an undergraduate, Lombardi had a job as chief researcher for a 1973 art exhibit, Teapot Dome to Watergate, a multimedia collage, all of whose elements focused on various U.S. governmental scandals. It was motivated by then ongoing Watergate scandal. Huh, that's interesting. So wait, he's kind of like a researcher mixed with an artist? That's interesting. And then look, someone who's trying to besmirch him said, he pursued painting as a hobby during his actual career as an archivist and reference librarian. During this time, Lombardi was also an abstract painter of no particular note. Okay, read this. Ready? 6 years before his death, Lombardi switched to link analysis pencil diagrams of crime and conspiracy networks that he would become best known for. In the early 1990s, he began researching the many scandals of the time, including the BCCI scandal, the Harkin Energy scandal, and the savings and loan scandal. The thousands, roughly 14,500 index cards that he accumulated in the course of his research began to overwhelm his ability to deal with them. Brother, do I know your pain. Miro is the key. Mark began assembling them into physical outlines and then into handwritten diagrams. These were intended to be a tool to provide focus to his work, but he soon decided that this method of combining text and image in a single field, called a drawing, diagram, or flowchart, whatever you prefer, really worked for me in the other ways as well. This decision was spurred, according to Lombardi, while he was talking with a friend about one of the participants in the Iran-Contra scandal, Adnan Khashoggi. Regarding this conversation, Lombardi wrote, I've began taking notes, then sketching out a simple tree chart, showing the breakdown of Khashoggi's American holdings. Within days, I began making more of these charts depicting other corporate networks I had researched. I was writing several pieces at the time and found the charts a useful, quick reference to the material at hand. Boys, yes, right? It's literally what we're doing here, okay? Except I would say that ours is a little more adaptable. It's a little more useful probably for research, but I'm just saying, if this man was killed for making diagrams with just saying, Osama bin Laden, he's got connections to George W. Bush, like they're honestly best friends, their family, old family friends, best friends. Okay, so Mark Lombardi was killed in 2000 for drawing this. What do you think they will do to us for this? What are they going to do to us for something like this? What are they going to do to us for something like this? You know what I mean? What are they going to do to us for something like this? Here, I got to change this. Felon. We're calling him Belon. What do you think that they'll do for, I don't know, finding out their deepest, darkest secrets, like this one? What will they do for this kind of stuff, Hey guys, once again, I'm just saying, I would never, ever hang myself. I'll never kill myself. I'm too hopeful. I wouldn't do it. Just saying. This is not related, okay? This is just a separate check-in, okay? Safety check. I would never do what Mark Lombardi did or what Danny Casolero did, where he was just like hacking his arms up like, gah, 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 gah. He had like 8 slash marks in his arms. Like machete, like, gah, 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 gah. I would never do that, just in case. If you guys ever find me in that state, I want you to ask questions, all right? You understand me? But I would never do this. So if anything ever happens, y'all better be asking some questions. Initially, as the subject of one of his manuscripts, the primary focus was on the drug wars, but because of Pete Bruton's January 1990 newspaper series about the Houston SNL scandal, in which Bruton alleged that the Bush family, CIA members, and mafia members took part in a de facto conspiracy to steal vast sums of money, Lombardi shifted his emphasis to investigating the laundering of the stolen money. Lombardi divorced in October 1996 and moved to Williamsburg, Brooklyn, in the urging of his friend Fred Tomaselli. Dude, I'm going to find all of his friends. I'm going to be friends with them. I'm going to ask them lots of questions. I'm going to hopefully see all of his work. Look, here, I asked Perplexity, I said, yo, where's Mark Lombardi's work? And Perplexity said, oh, right here. It's right here. So we're at the Museum of Modern Art. The MoMA has 20 of his drawings. And the Whitney Museum has 10 of his drawings. The Pierogi Gallery has some of his drawings. And then I think his friends have it, okay? And yeah, we're gonna find all of it, okay? Because this is not okay. And it gets so much worse, guys. Just you frickin' wait when I get my act together here. In March 2000, on the day before his death, Lombardi moved all of his work to Pierogi 2000. He then bolted his apartment from the inside and hanged himself on the day before his birthday and 3 years after he had moved to Williamsburg. What? So, just like everyone, every artist that I like, they get sad one day, randomly, don't tell anyone, there's no signs of it, and they just kill themselves. That's what happens. If you guys ever want to be an artist, just know one day you'll wake up and you'll just decide to kill yourself, especially if you're a problem for the government. You'll realize that you should probably have left the government be and that you shouldn't have fucking turned that stone over and that you should probably leave them the fuck alone. And then you go, I am a disgrace. I am so disgusted with myself that I questioned the official narrative of the government. Just like that, right? Lombardi called his diagrams narrative structures, and boy, are they ever. You know what's interesting? His drawings remind me of, like, octopus tentacles. You know what I mean? It's just weird. And guys, just so everyone knows that there was no foul play and no one from the government or the police or anything was interested in any of his work. Like, he was not hurt because of what his research and what his work was. Don't even get that conspiracy BS in here, okay? There's so many of you conspiracy theorists out here. All you conspiracy terrorists, that's what you should be called. You conspiracy terrorists unleashing, questioning the government on the public. What are you trying to do? This is a society. On October 17th, 2001, 5 weeks after the terrorist attacks on this World Trade Center, an FBI agent named Paul Wysopal contacted the Whitney Museum of American Art to obtain a reproduction of Mark Lombardi's large drawing BCCI, ICIC, and FAB, 1972 to 1991. Or, if that were not possible, to see the actual work at the museum. At about the same time, Lombardi's gallery, Pierogi, also received a telephone inquiry from a lead investigator in the September 11th attacks, named Special Agent in Charge Paul Wysopal. Federal investigators wanted to obtain information pertaining to wealthy Saudi Arabian terrorist Osama bin Laden and his Al-Qaeda network by tracing his many financial connections to BCCI. Robert Hobbs writes in his Introduction to Global Networks. Hobbs continues, if government investigators had merely decided to include select members of the art world in their investigation in the 9/11 attacks, the fact alone would have been newsworthy. But when an FBI agent, Paul Wysopal, consulted a work of art for clues pertaining to terrorist financing, she unwittingly made history. Oh, I guess it wasn't Paul then. But dude, she wasn't looking for clues in his work. She was trying to see if Mark was tattling on them because they're too stupid to have figured this out before they killed him. If his fucking art is being displayed places. What a dummy. Dude, the feds are truly the dumbest people. They're the most fail-son human beings in history, okay? For instance, his 1999 drawing George W. Bush, Harkin Energy, and Jackson Stevens, CA 1979 to 1990, shows alleged connections between James Bath, the Bush and Bin Laden families, and business deals in Texas around the world. Following Lombardi's suicide in 2000, the book Mark Lombardi, Global Networks was written in conjunction with a traveling exhibit. The editors chose to incorporate into the cover artwork a detail from George W. Bush, Harkin Energy, and Jackson Stevens, showing George W. Bush on the back cover of the book and Osama bin Laden in the upper left of the front cover, separated by one step from each other in the network via Bath. The same connection between Bush and bin Laden was also highlighted in a 2003 Boston Globe article that describes the FBI's interest in Lombardi's works immediately following the September 11th attacks in 2001. Lombardi's diagrams map the illicit flow of capital amounting to a creative form of storytelling or arguably financial true crime. Absolutely, dude. All right? And then this gets me to tomorrow, guys. Hey, we're going to be watching this documentary tomorrow on the stream, okay? 6 p.m. EST. In 2012, a German director, Marike Wegener, released a documentary on Lombardi entitled Mark Lombardi, Death-Defying Acts of Art and Conspiracy. The movie premiered in May 2012 in Germany and the Brooklyn Film Festival, and then opened in September at MoMA in New York. Reviewers of the movie suggested that unlike Lombardi's own work, it relies too much on innuendo and too little on factual information. Because George W. Bush and George H.W. Bush literally said, I'm doing a vast conspiracy and I know that I'm supposed to hide all the documentation that I'm doing so that no one figures out it's me, but I like leaving breadcrumbs. So he actually mailed Mark Lombardi a bunch of his bank statements with all of these transfers in there. Like, dude, what the do you you stupid idiots? This is what I hear. Oh, where's your proof? What do you mean, you dumb The proof is in the fact that they won't talk about any of this shit, and I keep losing accounts. So, wake up, goofies. But yeah, it focuses too much on testimonials from friends and does not adequately explain the impact of Lombardi's art. Well, we're gonna see tomorrow, okay? Because I'm sick of listening to what jackass, review people say about stuff. And, people are always like, oh, these people are crazy. They're so stupid. They're nuts. Don't listen to them. But then when you listen sometimes, dude, they make a whole lot of sense, you know? So I don't listen to people who say shit is dumb and a waste of time. I like to watch it. So if you guys would like to join me tomorrow, we're going to be watching Mark Lombardi, Death-Defying Acts of Art and Conspiracy from 2011. Here, let's watch a little snippet.
We're in Mark's future. We are.
Nightmare.
And his future is fucked up.
It's where we live.
The end of 2009 was a very tense time. We had an election, a big election here in the States. You know, at the very end, a few more things rocked the markets. Bernie Madoff was arrested, and then over here we talk about the big bonus scandal with Miro.
Dude, is this some of Mark's art too? I love his conceptual infographic style of art, man. Here, wait, let's look at a couple of his things real quick. Okay, look, here's one, right? Now, they very, very much try and make sure that people can't read these online, for sure. So I've made collages to try and get better views of them. them. But also, if anyone has high reses of these, send them to me. I'm also going to be going to some of these places because I want to see them in person. I want to take pictures of them myself. I want to ask questions. Also, but yeah, look, dude, these are the 10 that are at the MoMA, okay? We have drawings of these, and if you look at these are concept art. This is like sketches, right? This is what's on display at the MoMA, but this is the kind of stuff this is like what he was known for, right? Like beautiful artistic renderings, like this is cool. It looks like a globe. It's all flat though. It's beautiful. It's very simple and it's easy to follow. The direction of the arrow means shit. Like it all means shit. It all has code. It's all beautiful. And then if you go to the MoMA and look at his stuff right now, it's like chicken scratch kind of, right? It's cool. I mean, it's cool because it's like he's outlining it first and then he goes and does his full thing. But we found something insane that really makes me understand the vast conspiracy at hand here. Do you know who owns all of Mark Lombardi's art that is at MoMA? And that means all of the art too that isn't on display, which is also a very, very powerful position to be in, right? To have all of someone's art and you get to pick just the 10 that get to be displayed out of probably thousands. So I don't know, what do? Do you pick the 10 that implicate your family in a vast conspiracy? Or do you pick any of the really good ones that like are dead to rights? George W. Bush and Bin Laden were fucking butt buddies? Do you do that? Or if you're a Rothschild, do you give us bullshit? Because if Judith Rothschild owns all of Mark Lombardi's fucking art, I want to have a list of all of the art that she possesses, and I want to see that it still exists. You know what I mean? She owns all of these. A Rothschild, a Rosicrucian, a Red Crosser, a psycho narcissist family who's literally trying to do ethnostates to the world. They own all of Mark's art. And if this isn't crazy to you, you guys gotta wake up, man. This is crazy. Like crazy. Look at this. Harkin Energy. I think that used to be, what was HW's shit called? Zapata Gas and Oil? Look, here's George W. Bush connected to Osama bin Laden. Wow. That's crazy. And then you guys want to read part of a book that someone wrote about his life? Here, let's just run through the first couple pages, okay? This is the book is called Interlock. The book is called Interlock. It's by Patricia Goldstone, and she wrote this about Mark, okay? Ready? We're just going to read a couple pages, and then we'll close it up, and we'll move on, and we'll never talk about this again. Just kidding. We're talking about this tomorrow, the whole night, okay? Just after midnight on March 22nd, 2000, police crawled through the transom of the studio belonging to a 48-year-old conceptual artist in Brooklyn. The police discovered the artist Mark Lombardi, neatly dressed in a dark blue shirt and matching pants and socks, hanging from a noose slung over one of his sprinkler pipes with an open bottle of champagne suspended from a string beside him. A full bottle of Tylenol PM was in his shirt pocket, a half-smoked joint on his nightstand. According to the medical examiner's report, several hundred Tylenols littered the floor. Oddly, the police report filled out at the scene prior to the medical examiner's arrival did not note the unusual display. Again, oddly, standard procedure to establish time of death was not followed at the scene, but the medical examiner estimated that the distension and slight discoloration of Lombardi's abdomen that he had been dead for at least 24 hours. Neither the police nor medical examiner's report indicates the drugs or alcohol played any role in Lombardi's death. An autopsy performed the next day noted levels of Tylenol, alcohol, and marijuana in his body, despite the fact that if he had indeed been dead for more than 24 hours, the active ingredients in both Tylenol and alcohol would have metabolized out of his body. For habitual marijuana users like Lombardi, testing can detect traces of THC, the most active chemical in cannabis, in the body for up to a week after use. From Lombardi's girlfriend, Hillary Maslon, put that name in your head and never forget it, okay? Who had called the police 5 minutes before midnight to say she hadn't been able to reach him for a week and feared he was deeply depressed over the state of their relationship. The detectives of the 90th precinct in Williamsburg deduced that the artist showed all of the classic earmarks of suicide: above average intelligence combined with a fear of success, Maslon, an aspiring fellow artist and heiress to fortune, dependent on one of the commodity conglomerates whose activities were depicted in Lombardi's investigative artworks, neglected to inform them that his elegant drawings, which were becoming not only highly successful, but highly visible to the public eye, were art as information, investigating the interconnections of the global money laundering business. By a curious coincidence, only days before, Intelligence Newsletter, a tiny publication with a sharp focus on the intelligence community, had reported that George W. Bush's presidential campaign could run into trouble over the candidate's association with Khalid bin Mahfouz, banker of the Saudi royal family. Bin Mahfouz, a Saudi national, was under investigation by American authorities for surreptitiously funding a terrorist organization called Al-Qaeda through his charitable foundations. He had also had extensive, though indirect, dealings with Bush during his oil days through Texas middleman James Bath, a subject Lombardi treated extensively in his drawing series on Bush's oil company, Harken Energy. Bin Mahfouz was only one focus among many hundreds of others in Lombardi's increasingly celebrated drawings. Some well-known, some obscure, dating back to the Nixonian heyday of illegal campaign finance and forward to the administration of William Jefferson Clinton. Curiously, the police did not examine Lombardi's work, merely noting that the large number of drawings in his studio that the deceased appears to have been an artist. Curious, because the artist felt the FBI had been following him since his youthful days in SDS. Shortly after 9/11, FBI agents showed up at the Whitney Museum of American Art to examine his masterwork on the subject of the Bank of Credit and Commerce International, BCCI, and asked to remove it. The museum refused. Lombardi's mother, Shirley, said, "It has always bothered me just exactly how the FBI knew it was there." According to the vivid recollection of Lombardi's sister, Laura, a memorial show at New York's Drawing Center in October 2001 was closed by nameless security officials. Lombardi's memorial show was actually held at Gallery Joe in Philadelphia in October 2000, which makes the story less dramatic. But Homeland Security did indeed visit Lombardi's traveling retrospective at the Drawing Center in 2003. In early 2002, the FBI Operation Green Quest raided the offices of several Virginia-based Islamic charities whose Saudi funders included bin Mahfouz, and prominent Bush backers were highlighted in Lombardi's work. Ironically, the FBI had been examining the wrong drawing. Is it ironic, or is that just how the FBI works? They're ass at their job. They're terrible. They're bad. It's almost like they're not there to figure out the crimes. They're there to cover them up. But I don't know. What do I know? The information it sought was prominently displayed in Lombardi's Harken Energy drawing, which was spirited away by a fellow artist to Germany, where it remained for some years. Nonetheless, after a perfunctory investigation lasting 2 days that consisted of brief interviews with Maslon and Lombardi's parents, the Williamsburg police declared the death a suicide. The studio door, securely locked from the inside, showed no signs of forced entry except for the transom the police had opened themselves. Lombardi's body was not marked by struggle, and the hasty autopsy determined that his injuries were consonant with having hanged himself. Although there were substantial differences between Maslon's account and that of Shirley Lombardi, who said her son told her just 2 days before he died that he was jubilant both about his rising success and the prospect of moving in with Maslon. That did not convince the police to keep the investigation open, even though it is standard procedure to do so when witnesses offer significantly different testimony. As staunch Catholics to whom the idea of suicide is anathema, the Lombardis questioned the perfunctory investigation but felt that they were being stonewalled. It took forever to get the artist's body back, according to Shirley, who was most emotionally involved. When they said it had been cremated and all forensic evidence destroyed, the family led by Don Lombardi did not press for further investigation. Wow. And then Shirley Lombardi died, still brokenhearted, in 2012, but even today, the smallest detail about Mark's death stirs up Rashomon of conflicting stories among family members as well as lovers, colleagues, and the police reports, which state that the bottle of champagne, so vividly remembered among some of his friends as a romantic gesture to Maslon, was really only white wine. In fact, one of his closest friends says that only days before Lombardi's death, the artist, far from being despondent about breaking up with Maslon, told him jubilantly that his recent successes put him in the market for a better looking girlfriend. This is, Anthony Bourdain got sad because a P word broke up with him. Oh, yeah. Mark Lombardi got sad because his Fed girlfriend, whose family is involved in the shit he was investigating, he got sad because his fucking B- heiress girlfriend didn't want to date him. My dick, dude. Hillary Maslon is a Fed who got Mark Lombardi killed. I'll fucking say that out loud. I'll scream it. Hillary Maslon, we are looking into you. What the fuck did you do? You sold him out for your stupid money and your stupid family. You are a horrendous person. So we're coming. Metaphorically, we're coming for you, okay? We're looking for you. We're gonna find your shit. We're gonna blast it all over, okay? So, dude, these people are cooked. We have to destroy them. Everyone, look into Mark Lombardi, okay? Look, here's our boy. Mark. R.I.P. Mark. R.I.P. fucking Danny. Look it. Dude, this is what they do. My fucking head will be here next to theirs. If we do not stop them, my fucking head will be right here next to theirs. Okay? These people are sick. They did 9/11. Okay? End of conversation. Can we do something else now? Right? Dude, please. What are we doing? No more. Joe Biden. Who's Joe Biden? Are you talking about that illegal immigrant from Germany? What? George Bush? Are you talking about George Scherf, that illegal immigrant from Germany? What are you talking about? Who? What President Bush? I've never heard of one. So anyway, this is what they will do to me if we do not stop them, guys. Just saying. I love you all. Come join us tomorrow. We're going to watch this whole documentary, right? Let's watch another minute of it, and then we can talk about it tomorrow. Okay, guys? Let's go.
In a lot of Mark's drawings at the time, we were looking at them, he was drawing them, we understood that he knew a lot of information, but then it wasn't until the events of like September 11th or even like the financial crisis that you start seeing how his work actually, it wasn't that it was predicting these events, it's that the information was there. And
exactly, bro. Exactly. The information is there. I am not making this stuff up, guys.
I mean, Mark never talked about people hijacking airplanes and crashing into buildings or anything like that, but he knew about the activities of how these things would be financed.
Yes, exactly. It's how we know they're going to do something else soon.
Who were the people financing? Who were the people receiving the money? Who were the, he really had a...
We have to focus on the money. We have to dig into the money. That is how this stops, okay?
A vast knowledge of the networks that would create a scenario like this. His work was pretty much showing you the abuses of power. And some of the same people that you see on the news making trouble in different parts of the world, they're all in the works.
So before I get Mark Lombardi'd, will y'all please help me find pictures, more of his art? Help me find Hillary Maslon. Like, if you guys want to help, I want your help. Come on, join us. Join us, friends. But yeah, guys, RIP to fucking Mark Lombardi forever, bro. But we're gonna get into these. We're gonna get into his artwork. Dude, look at this. I mean, it's really something, right? Look at this. This is awesome. This one is called George W. Harkin Energy and Jackson Stevens. I love his style, dude. He's fucking awesome. This dude is a king. But guys, all of your favorite artists do not kill themselves. This is such a cliche at this point. It's insane. I'm done accepting this. I will never accept this BS anymore. Mac Miller didn't do it. Anthony Bourdain didn't do it. Dude, none of these people. I bet even fucking Chris Farley didn't do it. But yeah, take a look. Take a peeps. Pretty cool, right? And guys, is this literally anything else but a handwritten version of Miro? If they offed him for these little fucking crude drawings, what do you think they will do for this? For this, bro. What do you think they will do for all of this? Huh? Walter Cappy, what do you think they'll do when I figure out? I mean, dude, like, we know they're obsessed with us. Do you know, you want to know why they're obsessed with us? It's because we know. It's because we know. It's because we know. It's because we are going to find out. It's because we're going to find out this one too. We're going to find out this one. We're going to find this one too. We're going to find this one and his little rat kids too. And this one as well, guys. We're going to find all of these little rats that have scurried into all the pockets of the earth, and we're going to smoke these Nazis out, okay? Tomorrow, we're doing this, okay? We're talking about this the entire time. I love you so much. All right, bye. I would never hurt myself. Good night. I'll see you guys soon. See you in 5 minutes.